Hi everyone, my name is DT and I am running for the Student Union Assembly Chair.
Hello everyone, my name is Austin Hall and I'm running for the position of Chair of the Student Union Assembly. So my mission as SUA Chair would be to make sure that the Student Union Assembly is actively involved in students' life and that it is actively representing the student voice. Its motto is student voice, student power, student action, and we have to make sure that we don't have issues like we have right now where only 50% of the students know what SUA is. So my goal is to make sure that we increase the number of people who know what SUA is and increase the number of students who are involved with SUA.
Honestly, I really want to bring organizing back to the Student Union Assembly. Students are frustrated, beyond frustrated. There's a lot of issues going on, not only within our educational system, not only within the UC, but the CSUs, the CCs. There's a lot of student drama going on right now, for lack of better words. And students are frustrated, and they want to be able to know that they have a voice amongst the administration and the issues that come up, and that their concerns are taken into consideration. There is a lot of things that can be done. I'm not going to sit here and promise you that within my 1-year term as chair, if I get the position, that I'm going to erase all your student loans and all of this. That'd be cool if I could do that, but to be honest with you, I can't. But there are definitely some things that are tangible that we can do. The student movement hasn't had a success in a while. It's sad to say, but there's a lot of things that are institutionally put against us so that we won't succeed. So with that being the case, there are tangible things that we can do, like reaching out to the financial aid offices just so students can be informed borrowers. I'm sure there's a lot of you that have thousands of dollars of student loans out and you're not even sure what those student loans are. You just click the button because you knew that it would ensure that you could stay here for another quarter. There's too many students that are doing things like that. So when it comes to budget, there's tangible things that we could definitely do.
I think that the budget is a huge concern, and I think that over this past year, some solutions have been brought up. Being involved in lobbying with the state legislature and national legislatures, there have been loan forgiveness and policies to keep the interest rate on loans down and ways that students can deal with loans more effectively, as well as bills that have advocated for things such as a middle-class scholarship to make school in higher education more accessible to people who can't afford it right now. I think that those are some really big things that as chair I would help to organize on, because over this past year in Sacramento on March 5th we had over 10,000 students march. There's a lot of student power, and it's power that's waiting to be tapped, and that is through effective outreach of the Student Union Assembly, which is supposed to be the voice of the students.
I think it's been broken for a while in terms of its overall functionality. We always hear that SUA wants to bring students into the space, that it's a very welcoming space, that it's a space where students can voice their opinions, but in reality it needs to be the other way around. The SUA, the Student Union Assembly, they represent the student body as a whole. So it needs to be the SUA actively going out to these different spaces and saying, hey, we hear that you have these issues and we want to help you and we want to work on them with you. So just generally speaking, that's a frame of mind that needs to be changed within the SUA space. A good change that I think that has happened this year is that we've moved away from being just a funding body. For quite a while there, we were just a space for students to come and turn in event proposals. To turn in different funding requests and all of that. And it's a great tool that we're able to do. Students funding students, but at the end of the day, it needs to be us actively involved in these different events or these different endeavors that are being put on by students.
It works to me. It's a space where students who have been chosen by various constituencies, whether it's their college governments or 6 select organizations, they come together and represent those viewpoints in the body that is the Student Union Assembly, and they represent those viewpoints on a variety of issues that we talk about. So things like diminishing majors, academic issues, diversity issues, external issues with the budget and such, and internal issues with a variety of other student life concerns, such as housing and transportation and other things. So one of the things that I really want to do is get that sort of model to the students. One of the policies I've been advocating for on the campaign trail has been to get a little thing that I've been calling college days going, which would be getting the student union assembly to meet in a variety of locations that are closer to the students. I chose to come here because I wanted to experience something new, and it really has been a new experience. But coming here, it is phenomenally more resourced than the school that I went to. Yet we are seeing those resources slowly being taken away, and that's one of the things that I've really been getting involved with to fight for. It's for that reason that I got involved with the Student Union Assembly within the first quarter of my freshman year. Since I started being a member of the Student Union Assembly, I've been involved in the Lobby Corps Committee, which has had me involved with external issues from day one. I have lobbied state legislators as well as national legislators. I have been a member of the voter registration drive that's been going on this year, Slug Vote, for which I was the master coordinator, and I also interned for the external vice chair's office for a quarter. I've also been involved under the internal vice chair's office by sitting on one of the academic committees that the Student Committee on Committees, which the IVC chairs. I've sat on 3 of those committees: the Committee on International Education, the Committee on Educational Policy, and the Transportation Advisory Committee. I've also been involved with the Commissioner of Academic Affairs office by being one of the founding members of the Student Academic Senate, for which I'm also currently an officer. And I've been involved under the Organizing Director's office, for which I was one of the founding members of the Student Labor Action Project. I feel that I'm qualified because I've experienced what it's like to work under most of the SUA offices, and I can take that experience of working under the majority of them and bring it back to the chair position to know how SUA should work, what my experiences are, and what my goals and visions are.
So I feel that I'm qualified for this position as chair because I'm a student. Honestly, I think all of these positions should be positions that are open to the entire student body. All of us have experienced what it is to be a student, to be someone who is striving towards higher education, and I'm a testament to that. My personal background, I'm originally from Nigeria. I was born and raised there for a bit. You wouldn't know it unless you put me in a room full of Africans and my accent comes out, but otherwise I seem apparently American, which I am. So it's that's where my background came from. An area where I really got to see very quickly that even here on our campus that we do have a lot of resources as well. There's a lot of students, when I went to school back there, a lot of my classmates, a lot of my family friends, I went to an all-girls boarding school. They're already married off after they finished high school. That was just it. So for me, just coming into an institution of higher education, it was immediately recognizing my privilege that I was even here. I run for this position because I'm a student who's been involved in a variety of different spaces. I've been involved in the SUA since I was a freshman. First year, I'm a third year now. But I've also, I kind of have a tendency to be in a lot of different spaces because I don't think one space completely defines us.
My experiences with DT have actually been, she was a CA, a community advisor here at College 9 when I was a freshman. I knew that she was on the floor of the building, I believe opposite from me, and I always kind of admired her from afar because I did see that she was really involved, and that was a really good experience, especially working with DT, because I got to see what a hard worker she is. So I believe in DT. I know that she is a very constructive person. She is a person who, if she wants to get something done, she will accomplish it, and I have no qualms about running against someone who's as qualified as DT.
So sweet. So my action with Austin, actually I remember I met you way before Congress. I mean, more before a conference, when I was running last year. It was when I first met you. Yeah. So he was like helping us out last year when I was running for Commissioner of Diversity. And I just remember thinking, who is this kid and why is he so funny? Like, he's ridiculous. Being at things like the different conferences that we've been together and both being in the SUA space, it's been nice to just get to know him. But he's a really lighthearted guy and he cares. He really legitimately cares. And I think that's a beautiful thing to be in a space like that can be heavily politicized but be liked by a lot of people. And at the same time be active in voicing your opinion in those spaces. So for my interaction with him in SUA, as well as our interaction with one another as a student, as co-teachers in the Global Action class for College 9. It's been nothing but positive for me. Personally, I like Austin, and I like the person that he is, and I like the work that he's done, and I love the fact that he is passionate about all of it. So I think he's extremely qualified as well, and I hope the best for both of us in this race, this election.